our experience, how we work on disinformation for more than 3 years, how we count disinformation in Ukraine, how we can gather the data journalism and data science actually. So if we are talking about Ukraine, there are already exist some project that try to fighting against the disinformation actually, and they do it in different ways. For example, together with fact checkers, with the experts who fights with fakes, or we the media standards which watchdogs. For example, we have the white list of media. It's the list of media for whom the journalist standards, it's not just words. It's they have the real journalist standard, and they don't publish manipulation or disinformation, for example. Or of course, we when we counter the disinformation, we can try to create more and more news with higher quality, or we can monitoring media mostly by hand. For example, in Ukraine there is a monitoring of political TV shows where expert is I think it's really difficult job to watch everything on the TV, political shows, and just to write the expertise on it. Was there some manipulations or maybe fakes spread by some politicians or some pseudo experts? But there is one whole great problem with such method. It's too much news to read them all. Today in Ukraine, if we look through all the types of the media, we will have much more than 1,000 of news only about the social and political lives for a day. And we understand that we really can't take some amount of people who will read them all, because it will be, at least it will be not even too difficult, it will be too harmful for these people, I think, just to read them all, and even to read some part of this news context. It will be difficult to systematize and difficult to find the disinformation or some manipulation, for example. Because of this problem, we started our project that took the data science, machine learning algorithms, and the main aim is to counter the disinformation. And especially in Ukraine, we have the problem with Russian propaganda, and especially Russian disinformation. It's like one of the our first topics and in our agenda. So we started our project from the collecting all the news feed from the great list of media, from each of websites by the RSS or by the scraping tools. We get all the news. We took only the necessary information, for example, title, date, link to this news, and the full text. Then we actually detect the language, because in Ukraine we have two main languages of media. It's Ukrainian and Russian. And you know, if we are talking about disinformation, not about only some specific manipulation, but about the disinformation, not misinformation, we are mostly talking about the Russian text. In Ukrainian, we also have such scope of text, but small, much smaller. That's why we actually took only the Russian text, and then after detecting the language, we break all the full text into the words. And this is only the little start of our journey, yes, because then separate words we put into the classifier. It's the first classifier. We check if this news is relevant for us. Because if we are talking about news, there are so many topics that are not interested for us. For example, astrology. Of course, if we are talking about manipulation in news, we can check, we can tell also about the manipulation by astrology, but it's not so interesting for us. That's why we delete everything connected with sport, with celebrities, with weather, for example. Or we also, for example, we monitor the Russian media, but we are interested only in text about the Ukraine. So we delete all the, for example, text about Russia and about something that was in Russian without Ukrainian topic in it. So we take only the relevant news, and then we start another one classifier. It's about the manipulation news. And it's actually this classifier was done together, was created together with Ukrainian experts. It's media experts who knows a lot about journalist standards. It's main editors in mainstream Ukrainian media from the white list. So these people read some scope of text and told us if in this text is some emotions, yes, if this text is not neutral but has some emotion, or for example, if it has some clickbait title or another forms of manipulation. And together with this information, we actually started our, learned our algorithm, our classifier, and now we have the tool which check each text on a social, political, and economical topic if this text has the manipulation. Together with this classifier, we actually have the list of all the manipulative media in Ukraine. No, maybe not all, because there are so many media created each week, maybe even each day. But we have the list of the most popular manipulative media. What does it mean, manipulative media? It's the media where at least 10% of its content can be marked as manipulative. For example, clickbait or emotions, for example. So these manipulative media are in the center of our attention. Just because together with this manipulative Ukrainian media is spreading some disinformation or some narratives, for example, of Russian propaganda. And of course, we take also some neutral and normal text, news text from the mainstream, from the main media in Ukraine, just to compare this manipulative content with normal, with neutral, with context that was created according to journalist standards. And then the last stage, the last phase of our machine learning transformation of all this scope of data is break the news into topics. Just because when we're filtering all the news on social and political topic, and when we choose only manipulative text, we still have a huge amount of text each week. It's almost from 5 to 10,000 only manipulative text for a week, and it's still a huge amount just to read them. That's why we use the classifier just to break all the scope to some topic. It's each week we have from 15 to 25 different topics, which were the most popular among media. For example, topic about the COVID, topic about press conference of Ukrainian president, topic about some specific of life in Donbass, in occupied territories of Donbass, or another. And actually for today, we monitor the more than 1,000 of sites. It's Ukrainian manipulative sites, it's Russian sites targeting Ukraine. Actually, if we're talking about Russian sites targeting the Ukraine, it's very specific scope of sites. It is the sites with Russian domain, but that write content almost only about the Ukraine, and it is the main rupert of of Russian propaganda in Ukraine, actually. For example, site Ukraina.ru. Yeah, it is one of the main and one of the most popular Russian site about Ukraine, where it spreads most of Russian narratives about Ukraine. And also we monitor the major Russian sites about Ukraine on the news, measure Ukrainian sites and local Ukrainian sites. We actually try to check if some little local sites linked to local media also tend to spread some manipulation or disinformation. Last year we also added almost 100 Telegram channels. It's the most popular Telegram channel in social and politics in Ukraine. We actually tried to add 100 of Telegram channels, but part of them they occurred close. You have to go via the link to add it to your to your Telegram. That's why we decided to monitor only the open ones. And for today, we have even much more than 14 million articles, just because this information was actually for the summer. So now we have even more. Part of him, it's more than 6 million about politics and social life, and more than 3 years of our experience. And actually, when we are talking about such great work on detection of manipulation, the main question is about, so what? Yeah, just because we are talking about data journalism, not about gathering the big data on media. Yeah, that's why we created a few projects based on this work. And the main one is our dashboard. It's dashboard, it's topic radar text.org UA. It's the dashboard on the popularity of different topics on the different media. Actually, together with this dashboard, you can compare how popular was some specific topic on the different types of sites. It's always interesting to compare how popular was some topic on manipulative sites and on mainstream sites. Just to compare, because we know that mainstream, they react on our information, on our objective reality, but the manipulative sites can spread the black genes, can spread the disinformation, and that's why it's not always the same the trend of some topic on the different types of sites. And of course, when you see the dashboard, you can understand now the level of my professional deformation, yeah, together with the color of my hair, yes, just because the topic of disinformation is quite hard to understand for the wide auditory. And it's quite hard to spread your results among the wide auditory. That's why we decided to choose such palette, such pink, just to make more attention on this topic. And it is just, it is like the main, this dashboard, it's in the center of our project. We publish all the updates on it, and you, for today, you even can find some specific words, some specific topics, and to analyze it by your hands, you can look for some most interesting, most popular, or most recent titles in it for each types of sites. And of course, together with this project, we create a lot of less journalist project, just because when we have such scope of data together with this dashboard, we can watch the dynamics of some topics and or the dynamics or some changes of disinformation trends in Ukraine. And I think that I want to share with you just one little case. I think it is the most popular just because just because when we already worked on this project, there were no COVID-19 in the world, and during the when it uh, uh, when it started to spread among the world, among all the countries, we could look how this disinformation on COVID, how this changes with time. And now we can even show I want to show you 4 parts, how this changed and how this changed in the time. For example, when COVID just at the last day of 2019, yes, no one knew nothing about the COVID. That's why Russian disinformation in Ukraine tried to do everything to attract attention to this problem and to the problems of Ukraine, actually, to cause the panic and to sow doubt. And like one of the cases was the story about the Novi Sanjari clash. It's like it was the fighting and protest of citizens of little city Novi Sanjari against the evacuation of Ukrainians from the Wuhan. And this quite negative phenomena was actually realized together with a high level of the panics, with low level of public communication of Ministry of Health, actually, yeah, and together with some trolls and bots who wrote a lot in Russian language in the Viber communities, actually. And it was like the first part of this history of COVID-19 together with Russian propaganda and disinformation in Ukraine, when everything was done to spread the panic and to create more and more such cases like Novi Sanjari, just to tell, just look in Ukraine, what a country is it, where Ukrainians don't want Ukrainians to come back home from the China. Yeah, and it was actually one of the main manipulative theses, and we read a lot about it during more than 1 year. And just now, finally, disinformators, I think that almost forgot about the Novi Sanjari, but remember about another cases. And another cases are about the undermining trust to the Ministry of Health, to the World Health Organization, and all the real authorities, just to do everything to people don't want to trust, don't want to vaccinate, don't want to do everything for the quarantine, for example. And one of the cases is a fake about secret American biolaboratories in Ukraine who developed the viruses, and maybe even COVID viruses was developed in some of the American biolaboratories. And it sounds funny, but there were so many news about it. And one of the leaders of the political opposition in Ukraine spread it too, and he still spread information about the American biolaboratories who, for example, tried to create some biological bomb. Yeah, it's a project of the Pentagon. That's why we have so many deaths from the viruses in Ukraine, and it's still alive. This fake is still alive, and it's fake. Actually, it's dozen of this text spreading among the manipulative sites, and starting from the Russia and now in Ukraine too. Yeah, and the next part is the promise of salvation. It's first of all connected to the Russian vaccine, Sputnik V. Ukraine don't use Russian vaccine at all, just because of the war among Ukraine and Russia. But it was, there were a great amount of text. Until today, we still have text from the political opposition, pro-Russian political opposition, who are talking that, oh, you had a chance to produce the Russian vaccine in Ukraine and to give this vaccine to all the Ukrainians for free, not pay the money to the World Health Organization or to the Americans or to all the another vaccine, just to produce itself. And it was very manipulative topic, just because it was consist not only on the arguments but on emotions about and you remember that a previous part was about undermining trust and as a result when you don't trust to Ministry of Health, you don't trust the vaccine that were bought by Ministry of Health, or you don't trust the quarantine that was actually also initialized by the ministry or to the speech of the president and other. Yeah, and I already showed it yesterday, yeah, this graph of the Sputnik frequency of mentioning a different vaccine on different sites, and you can see that Ukrainian manipulative sites wrote a lot about the Russian vaccine actually, just because they spread these Russian topics and Russian narratives. And the last part, it's something happened. Yeah, it's about bring it all together. For today, we know a lot about the coronavirus. We did a lot just to fight against it. And for today, a topic of coronavirus is already absolutely developed, and it's like it works together with another topics of propaganda and disinformation. This topic works together with external rule and George Soros, who actually did everything for that Ukraine don't want to buy the Russian vaccine. It's because, of course, of George Soros, for example, or the topic of coronavirus works together with the idea of failed state. Ukraine as a failed state, a state where you can't trust to any politicians, any organizations, you can trust anyone, you can trust even to your neighbors. Yes, idea one of the topic. And together with economical crisis, yes, this topic of coronavirus works together with another topic. So for today, we can say that this topic, it's not new for us, and it was systematized, and it was organized, and now we work with it like with any another topic of this, Russian propaganda in Ukraine, that it exists. So maybe it was so many that I wanted to share with you, but I hope that just a last one that I want to underline is that our project is absolutely open. We have the open code, we have our open methodology. So if in another country are interested in such experience, we are ready to share it with you and to work together to counter, to fighting against the disinformation in our modern world. So thank you.